This entire conversation has shut down any possibility of trying to find actual solutions for people who suffer from gender identity disorder, which is a much better label than gender dysphoria, which means nothing. Gender dysphoria is a politically correct nonsense label from the DSM-5. Gender identity disorder, which is what this was called up until 2013, is a significantly more appropriate label for what we're talking about here, because it is a gender identity disorder.
Okay, so it's an actual thing. It's a disorder. But, you know, having a disorder doesn't mean necessarily that you're crazy. Okay? Just like having OCD doesn't mean that you don't... OCD. It means you have OCD. It doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. Okay? That you can't make decisions. You can make decisions. You're not insane. So I would have to search that, though, about the gender identity disorder. He says only in 2013 they got rid of it, right? Okay, this is called Ben Shapiro himself comments on the transgender Zoey Tur, HLN Dr. Drew fiasco. So that was when
the problem is in your...
that was when Ben got attacked by Zoey. I guess Zoey attacked him.
Zoey?
Never mind.
Sounds like some retarded person.
But you know, Zoey Tur just calls me names, and according to the left, this constitutes just a brilliant defense.
Yeah, actually, let's stick to the topic. Let's Matthew's first.
But I mean, that's okay. He can be...
Okay, this is, by the way, Jason Jeremy's channel. 2,793 subscribers.
Whatever he wants. But the point is... Right. That's what this is all about, isn't it?
It is. Isn't that what this is all about? Let's all come together. He can be whatever he wants. Well, no. That's not what you were saying 5 seconds ago when you were threatening to beat me up.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you would say 5 seconds later either. When I'll fast forward a little bit. When Zoey Tur, after both segments were over, there were 2 segments. During the break, no one would look at me, right? Because I had said the unsayable. I had said that a man is a man. Ooh, cruel, inhumane, brutal. I said a man is a man. That means no one can look at you. And one of the other panelists, the black fellow who was sitting next to Zoey Tur, turns to Zoey Tur and says, well, I'm sure he felt the same way about black people in the 1930s. And I actually stopped him. I said, what are you talking about? Why would you possibly say that? What a nasty and cruel thing to say.
He said that to Ben. Well, Ben wasn't even alive in the 1930s. Is that a dumb comment? Okay.
Of course he ignored that because this is
just somebody
what
told me to be quiet.
Remember,
okay.
If you're part of the victimizing class, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do or what truths you are spouting. All that matters is you are the victimizer, no matter even if you are the victim in a particular setting. So during the break, the producers are all hovering around Zoey Tur. Are you okay? Are you okay? Can we move your seat? One of the producers kind of sidles up to me and says, are you okay? I say, yeah, I'm fine. I'm all right. And the next segment begins. Okay, so the segment ends. Fast forward. The segment...
maybe Ben has some kind of disorder too. Like, can't keep my mouth shut about anything disorder. Just wondering. So I'm going to read some of my comments. I wrote some awesome comments here. I'm reading comments. So if Ben Shapiro thinks these guys are mentally ill, does he believe they won't go to hell because they are not responsible for their actions? Or does only Israel get to do whatever it wants because it's a psychopathic genocidal murderer? Male is not a racial slur. Sees a male. Okay, goddamn males. Dr. Drew has lost my respect. He is a coward. That angry transgender person next to Shapiro should have been charged with assault. Well, he probably was charged with something, right? Ben Shapiro is the one who deserves the bravery award. Yeah, so someone commented, I also don't agree that there should be any bravery award. There shouldn't even be a bravery award. This Kroneman or something? Okay, completely agree. Some people said yes, yeah, right. I don't. He prompted the attack, in my opinion. Don't people see how very much he enjoys making fun of others just because he can and has a platform? He says, let's argue biology. Not saying I do or don't agree with his point, but he won't even try to understand how others actually might believe they are gender opposite what their physical body um, shows, right? In their mind or whatever. For example, what if an anorexic girl believes she is fat? It doesn't matter how much you argue that she's not fat. Put yourself in her place. At least try not to assault them with very hurtful words and expect complete safety from the trans person who is maybe a foot taller than you and physically stronger. Hashtag LOL. There are laws against inciting violence. Aren't there? Hashtag maybe. Hey, I posted that 38 minutes ago. I have 2 new emails. I don't know if it has anything to do with this channel. And then I said yes, because millions of people deserve more than a mere award just for getting up and going to a job they hate for years so they can feed their families. A quote-unquote privileged white male or even a Pakistani girl who stood up to Taliban. She seems lovely, by the way. In my opinion, are all just props to these entities or groups which hand out awards. In the 90s, you could study medicine as a woman in Pakistan. A woman could even go outside without burqa or with a head cover draped over her shoulder in some border towns known for retired or resting mujahideen or muhajirin families. So how come they couldn't learn to read? Didn't her father own some schools? So I'm talking here about Malala, right? Allah bless her soul. May Allah guide her. Didn't her father own some schools too? So MSM and the NGOs and everybody pushes the narrative they want. So such awards exist for a reason, but not to recognize any kind of superhuman or extraordinary achievement. Unless it's to brave police and emergency workers who do it every day of their life. And risking their lives, I might add. Okay, so that was my comment here.
Turns to me as he is leaving the set, because I have a couple of more segments on Donald Trump. Zoey Tur turns to me as he's leaving the set, and Zoey Tur says, "I'll see you in the parking lot."
Seriously?
And I said, "No, you won't." And Zoey Tur leaves. Now after
because I'll be hiding behind this curtain over here. Just kidding.
So over, I go outside. The producers are all kind of one of the guests, who shall remain nameless, sidles up to me and says, "You know, you were right." I said, "Yeah, I know I was right." She's whispering, "I know you. You were kind of right there." I said, "Yeah, no, I know. I'm aware." One of the producers comes out from backstage, whispers, "You know, you were kind of right there." I said, "Yeah, I know, but everybody has to whisper it, because if you say it out loud, ooh."
Yeah, and maybe they're just saying that to placate him a little bit, because they're afraid of, I don't know, consequences or something.
You never know what ramifications that could carry. So the producers say, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay."
Yeah, exactly. They want to make sure he's okay.
Well, I said, he did say, you heard him. He said it pretty loudly. Other people heard. He said that he was going to meet me in the parking lot. Do we know that he's left? Not because I'm particularly afraid of this particular human being. Even if he happens to be a very macho man, I've a fair bit of foot speed, so if worst came to worst, I could always flee using my bravery. But in any case, I said to them, I don't want to see the headlines in tomorrow's paper, conservative pundit beats up transgender activists in parking lot. I just don't see that going well.
Right.
So can you please check that he's left? So they check the key
yes,
card.
Please do.
And they say he's left, and then they have security escort me out to my car because they say, I was fine with the key card check. They said, we'll have security escort you out to your car just in case. So they have security escort me out to my car.
Well, I think that was wise considering everything that happened, right? I don't understand why he just didn't go and press charges, frankly. I think it might have been a good wake-up call for this person, right?
Because this is how the tolerant left operates, folks. The tolerant left, when it comes to facts they don't like, they're not so tolerant, it turns out. Speaking of which, this whole debate continues, and after Zoey Tur calls me a little man, which, by the way, I'm not sure why that's supposed to be an insult. Zoey Tur, by the way, would later go on Twitter and threaten to curb stomp me.
Okay, so it says, Matthew Elliott at Matt Bastard. Damn right, I'd pay top dollar to see at Zoey Tur curb stomp pissant product of homeschooled perversion. At Ben Shapiro. Why such hate, I mean, see, I understand that a lot of people got angry, right? I just think it's wrong to at Ben Shapiro, all this kind of hate online. Me too. And that's at Zoey Tur. I can't believe these people. Where's your humanity? Where's your, honor? I mean, do these people have honor or any kind of, I don't know what to call it, human decency, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Which, for people who don't know what that is, curb stomping. Curb stomping is where you force someone. If you've ever seen American History X, somebody does this in the movie. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's where you force somebody to place their open mouth on a curb. You bite the corner of a cement street curb,
Okay.
and then the assailant stomps on your head. So Zoey Tur threatened to do that on Twitter.
That's terrible.
And what was the justification? I love this. Zoey Tur tweets out, quote, somebody tweeted out to Zoey Tur, transgendered people shouldn't be threatened with violence. I agree, which is why no one did that. But those who disagree with their views should be.
Yeah, so they sound kind of nuts, if you ask me. I mean, so I didn't really understand that it was that extreme. Like, so extreme, right? Really extreme.
And that was a sarcastic tweet from somebody. And Zoey Tur writes back, being called sir and mentally ill is violence. So you see, if you're called sir.
I wouldn't say it's violence. I'd say he was inciting violence, even though, and it was violence towards himself, which is kind of, that could be called stupid, Ben. I mean, you kind of have to worry about yourself a little bit, right? You can't just, can you keep your big mouth shut so somebody doesn't come and kill you? Somebody goes nuts and attacks you, or curb stomps you or whatever. That would not be pretty, right?
If you're called sir, that is the equivalent of grabbing somebody by the neck, threatening to put them in an ambulance, and then later on Twitter threatening to curb stomp them.
Why don't you just report them?
And the media buys into this. The media love it. The media, it's all the same.
Yeah, well, the media sucks. Okay, the media it's the devil.